Property isn't just a game about money. It's not just a game about bricks and mortar. It's a game of the mind. So have I fucked up in property? Of course I have, repeatedly every single day, but there are some key metrics that I find of why people actually foul constantly during property, and here they are. The first one is giving up too soon. I often think this is because of a comparison metric. So all unhappiness and negative emotions is around when you go from expectations to reality. So when you've got your expectations of success up here, and then the reality is compared to here, suddenly everything feels negative, everything feels kind of shit. For example, if I said, hey, Alex, I'm gonna give you a £10,000 bonus at Christmas. Then it gets to Christmas and I say, here's a voucher for you and the missus to go to a spa day, just to say thank you for the extra work. Suddenly Alex isn't feeling so good. Whereas Alex has no expectation of anything. And if I say, hey, I'd like to pay for you and your missus to go to a spa day, just to say thank you for the extra effort. You're getting neither, Alex, by the way. He doesn't deserve it. But the point is, expectations versus reality. And now suddenly on the second one, Alex is feeling like, wow, that's really sweet actually. That's really making something feel connected and building that up. And the same thing happens in property investment, where I think because of YouTube, watching this channel, watching somebody that's been doing this for nearly a decade now, and I'm talking about concepts that are simple but not easy. Sometimes people can have the expectation of, oh great, I go and implement this, 3 months from now I quit my job, I'm on a yacht, I'm with whoever I want to be. And we've all seen the pictures, right, of the beautiful tan bodies, the alcohol and the fast cars and everything like that. And actually, that's just not reality. So one key piece of advice I'd give around that is don't compare your year 1 versus somebody's year 10. And I don't just mean that in property investment, I mean in areas of life. Even with some of my mentees, where they're officially in the same year of being mentored by me, but some people are going like that. But you have to bear in mind, they've also had 10 years in the building trade. Maybe they've got a bit of money behind them from past jobs. And so the only person you should be comparing yourself against and measuring your expectations against is you yesterday. Number 2, value first. Now you hear me say this all the time, it's one of the key values in my business, but genuinely, if you can go in and incorporate the law of reciprocity, you're going to benefit so much more than you can think about. So one of the first actions that I take when I join a mastermind, for example, next year I've just joined a mastermind out in America, and the first thing I've done is I've searched through the other 99 mentees on this mastermind. I found out a bit about them, I found out what they do, and I'm trying to find out how I can add value to them. Once I join the mastermind and meet them face to face for the first time, I will send out a message to every single one saying a bit about myself, and I will try to add value for free. The reason I like doing this is I think in a mastermind, it is one of the fastest ways for other people to start adding value and enhancing my journey, because I can guarantee there will be 1, 2, 5 or 10 people in that mastermind that will be able to enhance my investment journey, mindset journey, personal growth story. And so often when you go out with a value first principle, you're not thinking, what can I get from this situation, which is from a place of scarcity. Instead, I'm coming from a place of what can I add to the plate in front of me? How can I put more food on the plates of the people around me? And hopefully what happens, in fact, not hopefully, it will happen, the law of reciprocity kicks in, and suddenly the people around me on the table want to feed me. And it always feeds back from that value first mentality, but it has to start with you. Number 3 is expanding the comfort zone. A lot of people think about their comfort zone as a zone of comfort, obviously. But what people often do is they sit in that for their entire lives. You know, those individuals that sort of just go to the next step, the next step, the next step. And often, actually, they get to a point where they just stop. And suddenly they're like, well, what did I do with my life? What did I actually achieve? And honestly, we all have that anyway. But this zone of comfort that you're in is not meant to stay the same. You're meant to expand it. So people say, break it open. No, don't do that, because that's where you feel lost. Like fear that you can't get over. But ultimately, if this circle represents my comfort zone, where do I want to be? I want to be here. I want to be just outside this comfort zone, because often what happens is the natural instinct is to get gravitationally pulled back in that circle of influence. But actually, if I stay there long enough, the comfort zone expands just outside of me. If I think about the things that I'm doing today compared to what I was doing 5 years ago, it blows my mind. And yeah, I feel really impressed with myself and happy with my development. But more importantly, I look at some of the problems that come up today that would have completely broken me 5 years ago, because the person I was here 5 years ago is not the person that I am today. And so the level of problems that come up for me, I deserve, I have earned them, because that's the level of business that I'm now at and mindset that I'm able to provide that solution for. And it's important to remember that life often does not give you problems unless you are able to actually solve them. Most of the problems in your life, they are solvable. And the way that my mindset goes is think of the darkest days that you've ever had, the worst problems that you've ever come up against. You beat every single one of them in order to watch this video in the first place. You have a 100% success rate at defeating the obstacles in your way that allowed you to get to today. So why should it be any different today or tomorrow? Finally, your entire mindset around failure in the first place. Failure is not only okay, it's a necessity to growth. If you think about why I've got the business, which by the way is not easy, it's not rosy all the time, it's not happy, high five, everyone's winning all the time. It's shit. You have problems that you have to actually solve. So how do you make money in the first place? Well, there's only two ways of making money in life. It's either by solving a small problem thousands of times over. Think about the straw, a bit of a controversial example, but the straw, the whole solution of a straw is to get the final bit of liquid at the bottom of a carton, right? Solves it for billions of people every single day. Guarantee that person is a billionaire, right? If the other side of it is to solve the problem for less people, but at a really high level. Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, for example, they run a mastermind for 20 people where they meet 4 days a year, and they charge each person $250,000. But they are solving big problems for developed businesses. And so with that in mind, your whole ethos, your whole business, the way that you add value and build and develop yourself is by solving problems. How delusional, crazy do you have to be to think that's a straight line? So right now, let's say across my businesses, we're doing about $500,000 a month. Do you think I just sort of went, yeah, do you know what? I think making $500,000 a month, that would be great. And then we started on the journey and it just went, oh, yeah, that just happens really smoothly. No, the property business, where we're now at to about 30 completions a month, we want to get to 50 a month, we're now getting breakages that we didn't have at 20 a month, because the systems and processes and training that we had at 20 a month isn't the same as 30 a month, which isn't going to be the same for 50 a month. So suddenly these problems come up. We fail every single day. Failure is not the problem, it's an expectation. It's how you respond to that failure that you need to develop. Okay, so your mindset around this is fully expect to fail. In fact, if you look at every single successful person in the world, it's because they failed many times over. Elon Musk right now is the richest person in the world at the time of filming this, and he has failed more times in his life than almost all of us ever will. And that is why he's so successful. He has been so close to losing everything, and that is why he's the richest person in the world right now. So reframe your mindset. Failure isn't just okay, it should be an expectation. It's an absolute necessity to your growth and success. So how did I actually get to this level of problems? Well, by winning small first. So if you're watching this and you're at this situation and you're maybe going, well, I want to get my first property. It's like, well, you don't want to solve the problems that I'm solving today. The way that I got to here isn't by going, right, I want to get my first property, but actually I want to be over here. It doesn't quite work like that. And so you win at one stage at a time. So when you're there finding your first property, the first thing you're going to need to look at is your finance, right? Have you actually got the money to invest right now? Well, if not, then maybe you need to raise finance. And then the first thing is, how do I get that? What's the first needle that I need to move? Well, I need to do marketing. And so you put out marketing and suddenly you're getting rubbish leads. Well, why are you getting rubbish leads? Well, because the message needs to change. So you change the message. Then you get good leads, but you don't call them quick enough. Okay, lead time, how quickly you call somebody is really important. How do I do that? Maybe you set up a text automation. So now you get a text lead and they're immediately contacted by text so that you can arrange the call. Then you do the first call and you're rubbish at qualifying them. I didn't actually think about the script properly. What outcome do I want from that first phone call? So then you write a script, then you got good marketing, you got the automation, you have a great qualifier, then you book them in for a proper consultation call to share what you're doing and the benefits to them. Then you do a rubbish call to that. You see where I'm going there? So failure is all the way along a part of the journey to success. And it's how you embrace each stage to say fail forward, fail forward, fail forward, adapt and develop as you're going through. So just to wrap up this video, I often think about happiness, and if I could define happiness, it would be synonymous with the word progress. And progress comes from developing ourselves. And the reason why we develop ourselves is because we want to get to a stage where we're doing things that we couldn't do today. If you go to the gym, the reason you lift weights is to tear your muscles, to be able to get bigger, lift heavier. Maybe it's a weight thing. You want to be able to do activities that your body's not able to facilitate right now. And it's the same in this business. So shifting your mindset around this, developing yourself and making these mistakes and getting those small wins is what's going to allow you to get to the next stage. So what I'd like to know from you right now, put in the comments, what's the one struggle right now that you need to focus on, the failure that you need to turn into the win that's going to help you develop to the next level. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to make sure you're getting videos every single week on finance, property, and investing. And if you got value from this video, make sure to destroy the like button, and I'll see you in the next video.